start with, there are some questions on EOW.
For that matter, he's also from EOW.
I know. If an EOW officer scuttles investigation of a 7,000 crore scam and does not take action in spite of evidences and also forces other officers of SIT not to take action for 2 years, then what action can be taken against such officer?
So the investigation of NSCL, the person is interested that one person who is an IO, I think they are attributing the non-progress of the investigation to one such individual. For certain administrative issues, yeah, if somebody is found guilty, he can definitely be punished irrespective of whoever he is and whatever he is. But in a transparent system, when the entire investigating machinery is being scrutinized at various levels, I need to go by the records. क्या record आप बता रहे? You feel that result is not there. So I doubt whether I can give you a satisfying answer in this one. But if a person is found guilty, yes, he can definitely be punished.
Next question is about, there are a lot of, we also done a memorandum on corporate FDs, and there are lakhs of investors who had put their money in the company FDs and they are not getting their money. So somebody asked, can they file a case in EOW against such companies who are not returning their money or investment, we can say.
If looked upon, for any remedy, police has a solution. But it is not always the police solution is resorted to. You have different machineries functioning, you have different agencies functioning. The remedy has to be resorted from such agencies. If there is a criminality involved, yes, we can definitely intervene and we can definitely investigate and take the issue to a logical conclusion in the form of charge sheet and further judicial procedures.
This question is for Mr. Athavale. You had mentioned in your presentation about Speak Asia and there were some police officers involved. So the audience want to know, have you filed FIR lodged against the police officers and lawyers who were part of the Speak Asia team?
As far as the record is concerned, I don't think any cases are filed against some lawyers or some police officers. The reference to police officers was while I was referring to the kind of panelists that were enrolled in the matter of Speak Asia. So the reference to police officer was, as far as the panelist was concerned, there was a reference. Like police personnel are also valuable to such schemes, such frauds. That is the point which I wanted to make. And not necessarily that they were, I never intended to mention that some police officers were involved in hatching criminal conspiracy or running the fraud. So if any miscommunication has happened from my end, I just want to clarify to you. Thank you.
This question is to both of you. Actually, people are not aware about filing case to EOW. There is certain limit or something like that. So what is the procedure to register a case at EOW and how does the investigation proceeds? Do I need a lawyer?
Any aggrieved individual can set a law in motion. For registering an FIR, you necessarily don't require a lawyer. You can go with your simple grievances, a complaint. Only thing is the grievance, maybe at the time of registration, it will be little perused. In EOW, we don't directly register an FIR. In extreme cases, we directly register an FIR. Usually, in EOW being a special unit, it is always an inquiry. An inquiry, after an inquiry, if a criminality is found, as I had told you before, if a police action needs to be resorted to, then we register an FIR. That is with lots of perusal at different levels. Only after proper perusal, generally an application becomes a complaint and an FIR. You don't require a lawyer. The IPC, the CRPC which the police resort to doesn't demand a need of a lawyer. Anybody can set a law into motion. For the sake of administrative convenience, EOW, we have plugged the minimum amount to be 3 crores. It is not a regular norm. There are certain cases where if there are complications involved in investigation, If investigation needs to spread beyond the limits of geographical limits of Mumbai, if it is concerned with different agencies, then we take up the case in spite of the limit being less than, in spite of the amount involved being less than 3 crores. There are instances, the amount might be far beyond 3 crores, but it might be a plain matter of cheating which even if a local police station can act upon, we generally pass on the case to police station. So to conclude, we don't require a lawyer. If you can, if you can convey it properly what is the crime involved, or if you can flag properly what the crime is involved, yes, we can do it. There are certain issues which we have taken up on email also. Some email was sent to our office. On perusal, we immediately alert our units. The units immediately initiate an inquiry. After the findings, through the inquiry, FIR has been registered. Maybe the person who sent the email, he has been called for and he has been asked to give a complaint which has been converted into an FIR.
You had mentioned some names of some companies in your presentation, but there is a misconception that if the company is selling a product, then this company may not be a MLM or a Ponzi scheme or a money circulation scheme. So are Tupperware, Oriflame, etc. also disguised as a Ponzi schemes?
Frankly speaking, there is a very thin line between a company which is actually having some product on hand to sell people and companies which do not have any product but they just want to lure people and grab their deposits. So unless there is an element of misrepresentation, unless there is an element of intentional deceit that is in place right from the beginning, no criminal case can be made out. I think you are mentioning about certain companies. We'll have to look into the details. It will be very difficult to make a very open comment about it right now. I just want to make one small reference over here. The first question that was put was about some fixed deposits or FDs which are being received by certain companies and what action is being intended by police. I just want to remind you all that it was EOW Mumbai who has taken action against Birla group of companies. But again, over here, I am just stressing on a point that merely because some company has taken a deposit from you and has defaulted will not necessarily make out a criminal case. If at all you are aware about the provisions of MPID Act, there is a concept of fraudulent default. And unless that element of fraudulent default is there, no case can be made out against any such company.
You have talked about creating an awareness about such schemes. So how to stop people who are still continuing with the cheating business, and whom should we contact to go through the proper channel?
This question, I remember a song in Tamil, I'm from Tamil Nadu. One poet said, if you want to end thievery, the thief, he needs to undergo a reformation. Unless the thief reforms himself, you can't stop theft. You have a law in place, maybe you have to go to some sort of stringent punishments. Then again there will be a mismatch between human rights and what you are intending to.
Greed has to be controlled.
So it's not the cheater, it's the greed that has to be controlled. This is from your audience.
You have rightly mentioned that agents are the networkers who are the most responsible for promoting Ponzi schemes. But there is no law for such agents under the Protection of Depositors Act of Maharashtra, NPID. Agents are not covered. It is only under the Real Estate Regulation Act the agents are covered for the first time. So law should be amended or to cover the agents also. What are your views?
There is one more law, perhaps you may not be aware about, the Bribe, Cheats and Money Circulation Schemes Banning Act. Under that section of 6 of that particular law, if anybody happens to make propaganda of the scheme, he is supposed to be an accused by the scheme. That is as far as some special law is concerned. As far as the provisions of Indian Penal Code are concerned, there are section 34, there is section 120B, which under which such agents or networkers who are making propaganda of such schemes are actually liable to be prosecuted. And it has been done in the past and it is still being done by police. Perhaps such instances are not coming before all of us, so we are not aware about it. Yes, indeed, to make a propaganda of some fraudulent scheme or inciting people or inducing them to get enrolled in such scheme can indeed amount to criminal offence, provided you make a specific complaint to that effect. Of course, in police investigation it do happens and police also takes action against them. That is what I firmly believe.
So if I may ask you a question, in the case of Speak Asia, it was advertised by an agency, well-known advertising agency. Are they culpable? Because you can't work out a propaganda before unless you know the insides of the scheme.
Since sir, investigation of Speak Asia is still continued, I may not be a right person, but I am sure if at all any such beneficiaries are there, the action has been taken.
On the similar line, we can say the newspapers also are same on the same line. There are half-page advertisements of Speak Asia, so they are also beneficiary. I think there is one section in Athole sir, I think there is one section in PCMCS Act that prohibits newspapers or that allows to see
Yeah,
some.
not only newspaper, even members to the scheme are also accused. So people who are enrolling themselves in such schemes can be even named as an accused in such schemes.
What should be the fastest way to get back our money from such schemes? Please don't invest, that is the fastest way. and keep reading
Perhaps
money.
load another scheme.
Even in NSCL case, close to 600 crores have been given back to the investors. People who have invested less than 10 lakhs, the amount which was initially accrued upon, has been given back. For some technical reasons, there is a sizable amount. The money doesn't remain as money. The cash which you are invested doesn't remain as cash, doesn't remain as bullion. It has been converted into different forms. So again, it has to be reconverted within the parameters of the judicial system. Only after the reconversion you will get the money back. So, what to say?
Sir, I just want to add something to that. Under the scheme of MPID, the MPID code is in process of disposing of the properties or assets which were acquired by such companies. I am referring to the cases which have happened from 1999 till 2005. There are almost 500 odd cases which are registered, and properties worth 23,000 crores are seized or notified by the state government. And it's a big exercise that we almost appreciate over here. And there are so many factors apart from police machinery that are involved in it. There are competent authorities, there are court processes, there are lawyers. So I do agree and accept, yes, it is a very lingering process, or it has lingered down the line. But yes, process is certainly there in place. Only thing is that perhaps in a time to come, that period which is given for such process will be cut down, and we'll see some fast action happen.
I had filed a complaint against the MD and chairman of a leading multi-state cooperative bank for financial embezzlement in crores of rupees. The EOW did not act on it, but forwarded this complaint to the registrar for action. What is the reason? What is the remedy for me? It's a well-known multi-state bank.
List of companies, list of cooperatives, charity commissioner,
Central Registrar.
central registrar,
Delhi.
Delhi. So we would have concluded that it doesn't follow under the purview of police action. So a civil remedy or whatever remedy is.
Criminal is a criminal action committed by the so-called management.
Is it in-house discussion or something to be published tomorrow? I see Jay Prakash here, so I have a little doubt. So as I have certain restrictions, having it in an open house. Sure.
Is the EOW or police investigating with the help of SEBI for the unlisted or listed Ponzi schemes?
For the convenience of investigation to prevent any investor being frauded, there is a there are various forums where EOW is a member of such forum where we have regular interactions with different companies, be it ROC, be it Commissioner Cooperatives, be it SEBI. We have various forums. We have regular discussions on such forums with the RBI and other such agencies. So in such forums we discuss whether it is exclusively our purview or sometimes we share information. Recently RBI has come with an online portal also where any investor, if he feels aggrieved, he can register his grievance online. So to save his time, the agencies concerned with the investigation of such issues, the alert immediately goes to such agencies, and we are supposed to respond immediately. If it falls within our purview, who is responsible, what sort of action is initiated. So, to cut short, yes, there is proper coordination. If mistakenly you are sent to a different agency, it can find its right way to the concerned agency.
We had done a lot of things on MLM. We had written stories. You had also explained a lot of things about MLM Ponzi scheme. Somebody is still not convinced. Network marketing is a $1 trillion industry. Amway is 60 years old. Why MLM companies are looked upon as illegal?
See, it is not always, when Mr. Attorney had tried to convince you, whether you named a couple of companies, it's not multi-level marketing per se is illegal. If there is a mismatch between the promise, the returns and the product which you give to the society, you show a product and if you say that in number of days, this is the result. If the customer is not convinced and if it is perceived as a way to attract him, entice him, get him into the fold, the person would feel, I have invested an X number of amount, I have been duped. Only way for me to be out of it is, I see another X number of investors or X plus X, maybe 2X number of investors so that my money is secured. That's how this MLM scheme works. Since you have named a company, if you are named a company as Amway, 60 years old, now we have to go back to the fact that how many customers of Amway are satisfied with the product that is being sold. Because since you have bought a packet, the first packet, what do they call us? The first time investor.
Kit.
Starter kit. If you have bought a starter kit for 10,000 rupees, you don't want to use a detergent which is available. You regularly use a detergent which is available in the market for 50 rupees. In a starter packet, you have got a detergent for say 500 rupees. So you have exhausted it, but are you keen to go back to the same detergent packet? Are you interested to buy the 500 rupee packet? You are not interested, but you see it as a prospective scheme. You entice a couple of other people. You sell them the starter packet of 10,000 rupees each, and you pocket 2,000 of that, and remaining 8,000 goes back to your original, maybe the company. So that's how this trade prospers. If it is so, personally you are dissatisfied with it, but you are compelled to be a part of it. So there is a time beyond which the cookie crumbles. So when the cookie crumbles, you are in trouble.
We had a meeting with Amway's Vice President for the Global Policy. Suchita ma'am was also there. And he clearly told us that, look, this MLM business, whatever product we are selling, it can't be a full-time business. It is just a time pass. You can earn only time pass income from this. He had clearly told us, and we had written about
it.
this.
It is not time pass. See, you can allot your free time for it. Doesn't mean time pass. So you have a free time with you. Maybe the free time you can convert into some sort of
additional income. Yeah. There is one question about one Ponzi company whose money was paid to 50% of the investors, and after that police authorities stopped to pay remaining investors who didn't receive their any money. Can such case be reopened after around 10 years and the money can be paid to investors. It's a 10-year-old case.
Usually time is not a problem. Usually time is not a problem. Anytime the case can be reopened, but this has to be written specific. We don't have a, it needs a tailored solution. What happened, what is the case about, what sort of returns was given. We do come across cases where there are a few investors say, sir, we are happy with 30% of the amount. At least let us get 30% of the amount. But we also have sizable number of investors saying that what is this? They are giving us back only 30% of the amount. They are silencing people. We don't want to be a part of that. Any time, any person or any issue can set the law in motion.
Can somebody, I mean the investors who are duped by these Ponzi schemes or money circulation schemes, can they come together and file a class action suit or file a complaint with the EOW? Is there any provision like that?
You don't have any mechanism of settlement. Settlement can't be done in a police station with the CRPC and IPC case. You have a different forum for it.
You had mentioned about the real estate sector. So can we have your views on the real estate builders and other issues?
You as a law enforcement agency or you as a part of the society?
Both ways, sir.
Supply demand factor. सब आदमी को सस्ते में सामान चाहिए, बिकने के टाइम में ज्यादा प्रॉफिट चाहिए. So this mismatch causes you trouble. Nothing more than that. Not yet.
No, what about the other side? This is just one side.
See, any flip side from my mouth is not proper. It's not proper for an open house. Be careful. Be doubly careful when you are thinking about. Same, सस्ते में कोई भी चीज नहीं आते. So be little careful about it, and you should be your own judge. Nothing more than that.
There is one company called Hira Gold, and it is giving 3% returns every month. So can the EOW take action against such company?
I want to add that this question keeps getting asked to us all the time, even on Twitter, and we get emails, and we hear that people are being lured to sell their houses, and a lot of women are doing this, selling their houses and going and staying in leased places to be able to put money in Hira Gold, and it's huge. So it's one of those which rarely gets talked about, but I'm sure it's over 1,000 crore.
See, two issues I will say. As Lord Buddha says, greed is the reason for all malaise, malady, whatever greed. Usually how the scheme, in normal way how the scheme works. You have one investor, an investor who has invested say 1,000 rupees. So what is due for him the first month? 3% होते कितना होता है? As far as he is going to get 30 rupees, he is silent. So एक आदमी को 30 रुपए देना इतना बड़ी बात नहीं है because he has given 1,000 rupees. He will go and propaganda करेंगे 10 लोग हो गए, इकट्ठा हो गया, 15 लोग इकट्ठा हो गया. So always the person has a kitty left with him. When all the investors go back and say, give me my original amount, तब दिक्कत शुरू हो जाता है. आपको एक ऐसा कौन सा बिजनेस है, आप किधर आप इन्वेस्ट करके आपको नॉर्मल कोर्स आप कुछ खर्चा नहीं करने वाला है. यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू डू एनीथिंग. यू आर जस्ट इन्वेस्टेड. यू डोंट हैव एनी लेबर. हम भी नौकरी छोड़ के जा सकते हैं ना. आपका कुछ 3% कंटिन्यूअस रिटर्न्स होते हैं विदाउट लेबर, विदाउट योर एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन. it can be a very good business. Even I think there are a few countries, few developed countries who have been reinvesting their resources. I don't speak about our country. In our country, we don't have surplus resources where the country can think beyond social responsibilities. But there are developed countries who have so much of surplus reserves left. They have started investing in the market. So when you invest in the market, you see a returns. When you see such companies, normal functioning is they see for gullible investors को पैसा लेके पिछले वाला का पैसा वापस देते हैं. पिछले वाला पैसा वापस नहीं लेते. They don't take back the 3%. They reinvest their 3%. The company successfully mesmerizes the investor. तो पैसा मत वापस लो, तुम 30 रुपए भी वापस इसमें डाल दो, अगले महीने में तुमको 30 पैसा उसको ऊपर इंटरेस्ट मिलेंगे. So finally, when an investor comes says that this company owes me maybe 10,000 rupees, उनको original 1,000 है. He calculates compound interest सब मिला के he comes with the calculation. We can definitely go into such issues. We can definitely inquire into such issues as and when the complaint comes. Whenever a complaint comes, we make an inquiry in those issues. We see whether the trade, whether the business is feasible. If we find there is a mismatch, we can initiate action.
One last question which has been asked in various ways, so it represents about 10 questions out there. Can people see any light at the end of the tunnel of QNet?
In fact, we are also working for it. We are also working to take the case to a logical conclusion. As of now, our team is busy in the Supreme Court. So, after exhausting various provisions, the team has gone to the court. They have gone to the Supreme Court in the form of anticipatory bail. We are also seriously working on those issues. In fact, of all the law enforcement agencies, it's Mumbai EOW that has seen quite a few of those cases. In fact, the unit has been pioneer in cracking quite a few cases and thereby maybe securing a few of the gullible or prospective victims. We are also very much after it. I have heard about Mr. Kaur. Maybe in the case files, the old files, I've heard his name or a few times I did.
You mean Gurpreet?
Yeah. So, first time I had an occasion to see him. Good. We are seriously working on it.
He's also in the Supreme Court with you.
But is there no systemic flags which come up? For example, Mr. Adamle was saying that close to 2,300 crores was collected over 12 or 15 months. That's what he said. But when these remittances go through RBI on a regular basis at 10,000 rupees a piece or 11,000, whatever you said, is there no flag which comes up? Because see, otherwise the discovery of a crime or a scam is always serendipitous, right? After the damage is done. So we talk about actions to be taken post the event. So, but if we are talking about systemic upgrade and all, why can't it be stopped at the right level?
See, there is a system in place. If I am getting it right, you are speaking about the money crossing the borders.
Yes.
There are institutions which function, which flag. The onus is on the banks. The onus is on different agencies.
Yeah.
So when such agencies fail to flag, maybe for whatever be the reason, there we are into issues. So the post incident, when we come across such flaw, immediately an effort is taken, such flaws should be rectified.
Did you enjoy the interaction and the presentation? Yes. ताली तो नहीं बजती है, क्या बात है? I would request Ms. Suchita Dalal to present a memento to Deputy Commissioner Shri S Jayakumar. I would request Ms. Nyari Omdo of the CHRI Police Reforms Watch to present a memento to Mr. Mahesh Atagle. And And we'd like to sincerely thank the Honorable Chairman of the Saraswat Bank, Shri Gautam Thakur, for constantly giving us this premise pro bono. Thank you so much and good night.